have more positive interpretation of the event. Now here's something, here's something, now, that's NNA. Okay. So based on implicit theory, I interviewed hundreds of people in all over the world, in China, in Japan, in Korea, in Asia, in everywhere. These are 8 sources of meaning. Now, the 4 components, the structural meaning, these are sources of meaning. So now if you look at that, you look at the literature of happiness, you'll see that they're the same as happiness. Consider me in 1998 said, oh, meaning life is important, but nobody has done any research. For NNA books there already, I say, well, we can never say book. But there's a lot of work done on meaning. So basically, this tells you something about what contributes to the meaning. The purpose, the purpose, if it's achievement, what the problem? The problem is that it's not balanced. See, a meaningful life is a balanced life. Achievement is balanced by acceptance, right? Acceptance is that, oh, I accept the fact that I'm not as smart as this guy, Richard Ryan, right? I'm not as smart as he is. I accept the fact, right? I'm not as good looking as he is, right? So I can never achieve what he has done, right? So I'm happy to be me. I don't have his kind of face, right? Corinth is a sweet looking face. I don't have that. I look nasty sometimes, right? So achievement is balanced by acceptance, right? If you only achievement, no acceptance, cannot have a limitation, then you're miserable, right? Now, and here, transcendence and intimacy. Now, transcendence is people begin to pay attention to self-transcendence. You know why? People like him, there's a guy, there's a student of Montessori, when he wrote to me, he said, I'm interested in self-transcendence and how that relates to this acceptance. Both areas happen to my area of research, okay? So I know quite a bit about self-transcendence. Here's the deal, okay? Good deal. Most positive psychology would say, would echo what Martin Seligman said, that to live a meaningful life, you have to use your strengths, use your talent to do something bigger than yourself. Okay, you heard that? Am I right? I think we should present here. Okay. So what's wrong with that statement? You have to be happy. You have to be happy. You still have authentic happiness, right? Pleasurable, engagement, and meaning. What meaning means? Doing something bigger than yourself. Right? But what's wrong with that statement? That shows a basic misunderstanding of what self-transcendence means. It shows basic misunderstanding of what self-transcendence, to do something bigger than yourself, what means self-transcendence? Self-transcendence by definition means transcend your self-interest. Now, if your primary concern is that how can I optimize my happiness by doing something big, your objective already defeated your effort. But you can understand, self-transcendence requires that you put some matter above your self-interest. You're willing to sacrifice your convenience and sacrifice your self-interest in order to self-transcend. That's what self-transcendence means, right? There's all the people talk about self, bigger than yourself. Without doing everything to convenience themselves. Do not do anything for anybody. If they don't gain anything, that's not self-transcendence. So the key is that Sometimes you have to learn that you have to step out of your self-interest in order to find yourself, in order to find me. You're all concerned about my success, my happiness. I do big things for themselves in order to be happier and more successful. There's self-defeating. So there's a paradox there. Okay? You got to be an existential thinker to understand that. Okay? And so that is also based on achievement.